Now, talking about the Premier, let's go to the Etihad Stadium now. Just how much pressure is on West Ham United and the manager Lopetegui. A massive tie for both these teams. City will look to bounce back and leave behind their dire form in 2024. Just 3 wins since the start of November. Remarkable. But they did get a big 2-0 win against Leicester away from home last weekend. West Ham, inconsistent themselves as they sit 13th in the table, are looking to bounce back after losing 5-0 at home to Liverpool last week. They've got a few injuries as well, West Ham, Ray.
Well, Bowen's obviously the big one. He's the main man up front. He's the goal scorer. Look, they've got good players other than Bowen, but he's such an important player for them. So I don't know how long he's going to be out for. They're saying reportedly 6 to 7 weeks, which is a big chunk of the of January and into February. Which I don't know what sort of games they've got coming up.
Well, I'm looking at the table. West Ham in 13th. Look, they're 1 point behind Spurs, by the way. And everyone's talking about Brighton. You know, Brighton again, hard side to beat. They're just 4 behind.
They had that
Brighton.
big win against Southampton away, didn't they?
So
which was a big win.
West Ham, a couple of wins gets them back up top half or around the top half. What about Lopetegui then? How much pressure in? Ask how he feels about his start at West Ham United.
We know better each one. The team, me, the team, the players, and I think that step by step we are trying to build one team, a stronger team. Each match is going to be one big demanding test. The summary is going to be right when the season is end. So now we start the second part of the season, and we have to put all our strengths to be focused in to have a good answer. Against, I repeat, is not when any team. We are talking about City in this way, so I think we have to put the focus here.
Okay, join us now to help preview this one. Man City against West Ham. West Ham legend Tony Cottee joins us. Tony, good morning, Tony.
Morning, Tony.
Morning, Al. Morning, Ray.
Tony, it's been a strange old season so far. If they can just pick up and get a little run going, I know there's injuries, but you know they could easily get the top half. But I would imagine the locals, the fans, are not happy at the moment.
No, they're not, Al, and I think it's fair to say most of the fans didn't want Lopetegui in the first place. It's just been inconsistent. You mentioned it, Al, and you know they've had a couple of good performances, but in general, I think the games I've been to, I'm a season ticket holder, I've been to all the home games, and it's just been poor. And against Liverpool, and we all know it's a fantastic Liverpool team, but just tactically, Al, we're all over the place. You've got right backs playing at left back, and you know then they go 3 at the back, and then they're putting defenders on when you're losing 2-0, and you know just little tactical things I think that the fans are moaning about. And you know going into this game against Man City, you just get that horrible feeling that Man City are going to get back to form against West Ham.
Yeah, I think they'll be looking and judging the manager more the next 2 home games, Tone, wouldn't they? Because you've got Man City away. If you get a point, that'd be fantastic. And then you've got the cup game against Villa away. And then you've got 2 home games, Fulham and Palace. And you've got to pick points up there. And I think the pressure will really build. If they get defeats there, then the pressure was big time on the manager then.
Yeah, the problem is, Ray, of course, obviously Villa's in the FA Cup. So, you know, a lot of the West Ham fans, myself included, you know, that we're not going to win the league. We know that at the start of the season. So you want to have a good FA Cup run.
Yeah.
You know, he's got to put his best team out against Villa. Doesn't matter how many changes they make. It's a tough place to go. You know, if they get walloped to Man City and then get knocked out of the FA Cup, yeah, you're right, Ray. They've got 2 decent home games coming up, but the season's over by then. And, you know, there was high hopes at the start of the season. A lot of money was spent, not spent wisely, a lot of it, in my opinion. And, you know, that's why the locals are grumbling.
Why would you, if you're 2-0 down, put 2 centre-halves on or 2 defenders on? I don't get that, Tony.
Well, it was damage limitation now, but you know, but that's not what the fans want. You know, just listen. As a West Ham fan, you know this. We accept losing. We accept that. Have a go. You know, just you know, it was such a flat performance against a very good Liverpool side. I'm not taking anything away from Liverpool, but you know, you've got to have a go in these games, and you know, the performances and just tactically as well. I think then these substitutions and it's just there's something not right at the moment. You mentioned Jarrod Bowen. I mean, he's going to be out for 6 weeks. He's broken a bone in his foot, and we all know it takes 6 weeks at least to get back. You know, and that's a massive miss for the club. You know, because he's been their best player. Apart from Wan-Bissaka, Jarrod Bowen's probably been our best player this year.
Tony, he's always been lively as well. Somerville, hasn't he? Before
he's not been playing him right.
That's what I don't understand. When he comes on, he looks like he wants to make something happen, and I'm sure he should be starting.
Yeah, he's trying really hard, Somerville, and we've seen glimpses of it. But Right, you know what it's like. You got need a run of games. Give someone half a dozen games, and you know there looks like a real talent. He was Championship Player of the Year last year. He's not a bad player. He's a good player, but
I
you know
agree.
players are getting frustrated down there. You can see that, and you know, and the same old problems exist. You know, we keep conceding goals, and up front there's no one scoring goals, and it's you know it's obviously a big problem. I think the saving grace for West Ham, there's going to be probably 3 clubs worse than West Ham this year, and they won't go down. But
Well, I
you know,
was
the
going
way
to
it's
mention,
looking,
Tone, I was going to mention Everton. Are you worried about your old club?
I am, Al. Yeah, I think I've been worried all season, but you know they've just got to stay in the Premier League. I think Leicester are in big trouble as well, and you know great result for your club as well, Al, Ipswich. You know that gives them a real chance. So you know Wolves are going to fight. You know Southampton look tailed off now, but the rest of the teams are in there, and you know there's some big clubs down there. West Ham, you mentioned Tottenham, you mentioned Manchester United. You know if you get on a bad run of form and you know 5 or 6 games without a win, you're going to be sucked into that relegation fight.
No, we sure are. Tony, nice one.
Cheers,
Thank you, Tony
boys.
Cottee there. So worried about Everton. West Ham will be okay, I'm sure they will.
Oh, yeah,
but,
definitely.
you know, I agree with you with Summerville, because he's one of them who gets you on the edge of the seat. What's he going to do?
He takes people on, he commits people,
lively.
and his work rate's very good. So I'm really surprised he doesn't start more games.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.